Today we're diving deep into an interesting reimagining of the Christmas story.
Oh, yeah.
It's called The Tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus
Okay.
by author Imani Ulaney.
Interesting.
This book, it's not just a whimsical holiday tale, but it kind of delves into some complex themes of history, race, and justice.
Definitely.
And really makes us rethink what we know about this holiday and the narratives we often take for granted.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's really striking to me about Ulaney's work is that she's not just retelling the Christmas story, but she's deconstructing it and rebuilding it from the ground up.
Oh, interesting.
And weaving in a powerful commentary on colonialism, cultural identity, and the need for historical reckoning.
It's interesting, too, because her inspiration for this unique take on Christmas came from a really personal place.
Oh, wow.
After her father passed away, Ulaney purchased a wooden carving of a Rasta man as a memorial. And placing a Santa hat on it during the holidays sparked the idea for Rasta Claus.
That's awesome. That single image seems to have unlocked a whole world of creative possibilities for her.
Yeah.
The book acts as a prequel, you know, exploring the origins of Santa Claus in a way that flips the script on traditional depictions.
Yeah.
In Ulaney's version, Santa Claus was originally a black man.
Okay. That's where things get really interesting for me.
Yeah.
How does she explain the transformation we're all familiar with?
Well, Ulaney sets up this divergence through an ancient geological event.
Okay.
Two brothers, both initially depicted with melanin-rich skin, are separated, with one ending up in the northern hemisphere and the other remaining in the south.
Okay.
It's a powerful metaphor for the historical forces that shaped different cultures.
Right.
And led to vastly different experiences.
And I'm guessing this separation is key to how the brothers evolve.
Exactly. The brother who becomes Santa Claus isolated in the north undergoes a physical and emotional transformation. He loses his melanin, develops a heart of ice, fueled by negative emotions, and ultimately becomes the pale figure we recognize today.
So in essence, he becomes a representation of the coldness and detachment often associated with colonialism.
Precisely. And in contrast, his brother Rasta Claus, who stays in the southern hemisphere, retains his melanin and embodies goodness, knowledge, and a strong connection to his African heritage. And it's this stark contrast, you know, that really challenges us to think about whose stories we tell and how those stories are shaped by power dynamics throughout history.
You know, it's not just the brothers' stories that are different. Ulaney goes even further by intentionally recasting almost the entire Christmas narrative.
That's right. She depicts the Holy Family. And most of the other characters with melanin-rich skin.
Wow.
Even the traditional three wise men are replaced by a group of black brothers from Africa who visit the newborn Christ child.
Wow. She's really committed to reclaiming this narrative and presenting a different perspective.
For sure.
It makes you wonder how ingrained those Europeanized images are.
Oh, definitely.
In our collective understanding of the story.
Absolutely. And Ulaney doesn't shy away from connecting this reimagined Christmas story to much larger issues of historical injustice.
So how does she bring those issues into play?
Well, she portrays Santa Claus as a representation of the harm inflicted by European colonialism. His pale skin and icy heart become symbols of the genocide, enslavement, and ecocide that have marked that history.
That's a pretty powerful image.
It is.
And I imagine Rasta Claus stands in direct opposition to that.
Exactly. Rasta Claus embodies the resilience and strength of Black heritage in the face of those injustices. He represents a different way of being in the world. One rooted in connection, compassion, and a deep understanding of shared humanity.
It's incredible how Ulaney uses these familiar Christmas figures to explore such complex and challenging themes. But her story isn't without hope.
I understand there's a moment of redemption for Santa Claus.
Yes, and it's a crucial turning point in the narrative. When Santa Claus encounters the Black Christ child, he's forced to confront the consequences of his actions and the legacy of pain he represents.
So how does that encounter play out?
Well, this meeting leads him to a profound repentance.
I see.
He acknowledges the harm he's caused and commits to making reparations for his past.
Wow.
It's a powerful message of transformation and reconciliation, suggesting that even those who have been complicit in systems of oppression can change and contribute to a more just future.
It's a really hopeful message, especially in a story that deals with such difficult and often painful historical truths. But Ulaney doesn't stop at individual redemption. She takes things a step further, right? You're right. She issues a powerful call to action for the global African community to embrace the tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus as their own Christmas and Kwanzaa classic.
She's essentially asking them to replace the traditional narratives that have dominated for so long with this reimagined story that centers their own history and experiences.
Exactly. It's a bold statement and a challenge to rethink how we approach cultural narratives and whose voices are privileged in those stories.
Yeah, it really is a powerful invitation, to reclaim ownership of cultural narratives and challenge those dominant stories, that have often marginalized or erased certain perspectives.
Absolutely. And it's particularly relevant, I think, during the holiday season, when so many of us are engaging with traditions and narratives that have been passed down through generations.
Yeah, it's like Ulaney is saying, don't just passively accept the story you've been told. Dig deeper, question your assumptions, and be open to new interpretations, especially those that center voices and experiences that have been historically excluded.
And what's so compelling about her approach is that she's not just critiquing existing narratives. She's offering a tangible alternative. A fully realized reimagining of the Christmas story that invites readers to step into a different world.
It's one thing to point out problems, with traditional representations, but it's quite another to create something new and thought-provoking in its place.
For sure.
It seems like Ulaney is really pushing us to consider the power of narratives and how they shape our understanding of the world.
Absolutely. And this isn't just a theoretical exercise for her. She's actively engaging with her audience, encouraging people to connect with her work on a personal level.
That's great.
In fact, she's even hosting a book signing event on December 1st.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic opportunity for people to hear directly from her. And engage in deeper conversations about the themes she explores in the book.
For sure.
I think it's safe to say that Ulaney is sparking a much-needed conversation.
Definitely.
Prompting us to confront uncomfortable truths about history representation and the need for more inclusive narratives.
So as we approach the holiday season, I think it's worth reflecting on how reimagined narratives like Ulaney's challenge us to reconsider traditional stories. And to engage with those uncomfortable historical truths.
What stories are we telling ourselves? And how can we ensure that those stories reflect a more just and inclusive world?
Exactly.
We encourage you to seek out the tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus.
Yes.
And to form your own opinions on this groundbreaking work. This is a conversation that deserves our attention.
It does.
And Ulaney's book offers a powerful and thought-provoking starting point.
Greetings, everyone. Imani Ulaney here. Thanks so much for listening to the Deep Dive podcast book review of my book, The Tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus. Copies of the book can be purchased on my website, which is www.juniperpenarts.com. In addition, for those of you who are in the UK, I'll be doing a book signing with a delicious meal next month. So type in The Tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus into Eventbrite and you'll get all the details there. I look forward to seeing you. Take care.